Hey, hello. Hey, hi guys. Today we're gonna discuss about prompt evaluations, how we do the prompt engineering, right, and how we relate our prompt against the different LLM creator. So we will talk in more detail about this. Okay, so let's share my screen. Okay, and mainly we'll focus on the prompt evaluation. How can we write a prompt, right? That is the main thing. How can we write a prompt? Okay. Hi guys. I have to draw because of I am not able to share my screen. That is the main reason I have to drop. Sorry for inconvenience. 5 minutes, right around 4 5 minutes. So today we'll discuss mainly about the prompt evaluations, how can we do in cloud code, and we'll see the basic set of skills related to the cloud code. How can we do, right? So mainly we are going through the day-to-day evaluation part. Means how we are evaluating in cloud code, the prompt and everything. And generally, we are doing for building agentic applications, right? Same kind of evaluations we are using. So it is good to learn mm, about the cloud code. Yeah, anything you want to learn more about the uh, agentic system, right? So both going to help everyone for this. We'll discuss that uh, we'll discuss that everything in detail. So today we're gonna mainly discuss about prompt engineering first. Prompt engineering. Okay. So we'll focus on that prompt engineering first and how we'll do the prompt evaluation as well, right? So if you go in more deep, right, first we need to write the objective of the prompt engineering first step, like objective, yeah, we can call it role, right? So for example, you are a AI assistant which is going to help in, you are a database administrator which is going to help in database to generate a query, like that kind of things. Your job is to assign a permissions, right? That kind of things is important, right? To assign giving a role to the models. So that is the one important thing. Once we have the role objective, right, then we need to define the task, right? Task definitions. What are the actions the LLM need to perform? Uh, that is the main thing. We can call it task, right? So this is the one of the things we have to take in considers. So task. Then we define the task, right? Then we define any example, yeah, anything related to the how to solve the code task, right? We can call it COT. Just to give a minute. Okay, task definition, and we chain of thoughts, we can call it chain of thoughts. We can call it chain of thoughts. Okay, uh, few short examples. Few short examples. That kind of things is important, right? Right. Yeah. These are the some of the things, right? When we define a prompt, we define the objective. Chain of thought is the process of optimizing the prompt engineering, doing the prompt engineering. Examples. We need to pass the context as well to design a prompt. So good prompt will have these things, right? For example, any good prompt will have the roles. Any good prompt will have the any good prompt will have the roles, right? Will have the roles. Will have the task definitions. Will have few sort of examples. Some context related to the questions that need to be defined. And there is another form we can call this one like 6 number is output format. Every prompt will have output format, right? Right. So for example, we have the prompt, right? This is the prompt. So we define the role, right? Yeah, here we put it role. First we need to put it role. Then second must be task definitions and task, and this is the there will be some context. Yeah, few sort few sort examples, few sort examples, and third would be output format. This is the basic format. Okay, output, basic format for this. Now what need to do, right? How we need to we need some tag, right? Differentiate this task. This is the task, this is the objective, this is the example, right? This is the output. So LLM can differentiate it. So this is the structure of the prompt. We need to basically this is the way of understanding what we understand about the prompt. How this is understandable to one. How we evaluate the prompt, right? Another question is like how we gonna evaluate our prompt. That is one of the things as well. So if you see in the prompt evaluation phase, prompt evaluation says when we have a prompt, right? When when we have a prompt, right, and this will some generate some output as well, right? It will we have a prompt, and it will if we pass a prompt to the cloud, we can call it if we pass the prompt to the cloud right, we'll have some answers, right? We'll have some response as well, very well. uh, we'll have some response over here, right? Prompt plot and response. So we'll have some response. Then this response is again passed to the another grader model, like grader model. So grader model, grade model. Say they will evaluate your prompt. So basically evaluate your response. Uh, evaluations of response. Evaluations of response, right? Evaluations of response by another model, and uh, generate a score. Generate a score, and based on the scorings, so based on the this scoring, we gonna uh, we gonna decide which prompt is better, right? And we'll have some result going to tell result going to help in help in taking decisions. This is the process of evaluations. Let's understand how the system works, right? We have a model. This is model one. We have another model. Okay, another models. So we have a prompt. First, need a prompt, right? And we created a data set. We generated a data set. We also created a some data set. We'll have here. We'll have prompt. Here we'll have some prompt. Then we'll have some data set as well. Data set mainly what will contain. So data set mainly contains your questions, right? Questions and answers. Okay, so data set will have these two details. These two details will have data set over here. So we take a questions from data set, pass it into the prompt, and prompt going to pass to the LLM, and LLM going to respond. Yeah, going to respond, going to generate some response over here. So we'll have a response over here. We'll have response over here. So we have another models again. So here we'll have another model. Okay. So what will happen to that? We pass this response, and from data set we pass the response. We pass the dataset question and response over here, and this will provide you some score. This will give you some score. So based on that, we'll decide which prompt is good. Here we are passing questions only. Here what we are passing questions only. Here we will response. Here what we are passing questions plus answer both, right? So what we are passing here dataset. Here we are passing response as well. So these are the main things, data set and response. And this model will have prompt evaluation prompt. There will also have some prompt over here, evaluation prompt eval prompt eval. So we call it as a LLM just, right? So if you see the whole concept over here, LLM prompt evaluation, you will see there is two models. One is the generator models, which generate the response from actual questions and answers, and another model is to grade the models, right? Grade your response. Another model, they will have same similar context, but they going to judge your. So this whole setup is called as LLM as a judge as well. So there is lot of module, DPWL module, yeah, DPWL module. You will find the built-in LMS just evaluator. So how we can evaluate the prompt? And if you see over here, right, we can use this concept everywhere. If you want to evaluate agentic system, right? You are doing some task, a task that you can also evaluate it in this process. There is a multiple way of evolutions of the prompt. We can do non LLM matrix based on that. They say exact match, yeah, blue score, that kind of non LLM matrix we can do, right? We can do. They have different use cases. For example, you have the language translations related problems, right? You want to evaluate that we can call it like, in that case we can go for the Rogasia blue score, right? So that is mainly going to help you blue score. Maybe not LLM as just, I'm not sure on this, never practical, but that is the thing, right? So based on the scenario, you want to decide which evaluations is work for us. For example, this is LLM just, right? We have Rubik level evaluation as well. We can put it right up, based on our businesses, right? Rubik level rules like when to score one, when to score two, when to score zero, right? When to score five out of five. We we can train the LLM as well through the passing the prompt. So Rubik base we can also do. So depend on the rule based, we can call it rule based evaluations, right? So we can do through the ragas as well, rule based evaluation. That kind of things we can do it properly. This is all about the prompt evaluations. So there's multiple types of grader as well. You see different rule based, normal, consistency score, right? We can do the help of human. By human, we can also log the. We can do the evaluation based on human. We can take a feedback from the human as well. So one human is also going to provide feedback. That is all about the prompt evaluations. So let's see, right? Let's see one more example related to this. We we have a chatbot, right? This is a chatbot interface, and this is also a chatbot. So this this chatbot communicating with this chatbot, both are chatbot, right? We want to evaluate these two chatbot. So let's say we have a given a task to discuss over the solar energy. So mainly, so these two tasks, right, uh, will discuss about the solar energy. Mainly, they have to discuss about the solar energy. Okay, so how will understand this these two chatbot, right? These two machine chatbot is doing the good discussions, right? We need some kind of evaluations over here. So so there is like, how can we evaluate? So we'll take these two risk conversations, these two conversations. We'll take whatever the conversations is going over between the two bots. We'll take all the conversations, and we'll pass this conversation another models. We'll pass the conversation to another LLM, and this LLM going to decide, going to check both chatbot session is aligned to particular topic or not. This is the main thing. So this chatbot is this LLM models, right? Mainly going to check that these two conversations between two chatbot is going to align or not. So if we find, and based on that they score, they will score your conversations, the scoring of conversations. This is the one example of how can I evaluate the two two chat two multi-turn chatbots, right? Two bots are communicating each other, right? In that case, this is the good example. How can we understand about the LLM evaluations? Hope this one clear to everyone. This one clear to everyone. Okay. So we'll discuss about two things, right? We'll discuss about how to design the good prompt, and how can we evaluate the prompt, right? So this is the main things when we just going through the theory things, right? We'll soon see the examples, means demo of the cloud code. How can we do the evaluations? How can we write a code a cloud.md file? These things we'll see in the upcoming lectures. We try to build a concept, right? So so this is the way of prompt evaluations. So let's touch. We're gonna touch about the tool use tools. Touch on gonna about touch about the tools, right? So how LLM is like going to use the tools, right? So so let's say we have a calculator functions, right? We have a calculator function. This is the calculator, right? But how LLM will understand? This is the LLM, right? What are the calculations they can do, right? So they can do, right. So here we need to define the definition, right? We'll have definition means what are the tools they can do, definitions, right? And we'll have to describe about all parameters, descriptions of parameters, right? Descriptions of parameter, that kind of things. So these things here, it be good align function name, maybe like calculator. Here be something like calculator, right? This will be this will be calculator. This is your calculator. This is your calculator. They will do some code over here, right? Will pass the descriptions of parameter and definition to the LLM. How LL will pass? We will pass inside the prompt. This is one option. One options we can pass as passing detail as prompt, right? This can happen. Yeah, we can bind the tools to model. This is also happening. This is the scenarios are coming over here, right? So when we pass the descriptions and definition to the LLM, right, then LLM will understand, right, what are the tools can do. There is any other way we can do it? This is no. There is no options without passing any details related to LLM. LLM will don't know what are the tools available for you, what are the functions you have already built in functions, right? So that is what is tool. Tool is something we can, with the help of tool we can do the some level of we can access the external system. For example, we want to get a live updates from some APIs, right? So we can do with the help of tools. Or suppose we have to access the database, right? Then tool is going to help you to accessing the database and fetching the details from the database. That kind of use case we can achieve through the tool, with the help of tools. So if you see the in larger perspective, larger broader perspective of use case of tools, right? So there is whole agentic systems can build on that. We can automate any level of task. We can design a workflow, goal-based workflow, right? These things tools is mainly going to help you lot. So this is very important to everyone to understand about the tools and tool call. We can take it like tool call. This is one of the tool call, right? So when we passing the result, they what happen next step? They will have they want to use tool, right? Something like LLM want there is some requirement, right? Some questions they want to access some new data. They want to use tool. They will what will provide? They will provide the function name, calculator, function name, and parameters. All the parameters uh, required by the functions, right? So another job here, our job, app job, is to use this calculator and execute the functions. Whatever the input parameter will have execute the functions, and will have some result over here. This result again going to pass to the LLM, again going to pass to the LLM, and LLM will generate some response over here. Response over here. So how able to understand? Let me once again just want to describe just again, right? If you see over here, we have the tools. This is the tool related things. This block is related to tools. So if you see, we have the calculator functions, we have the function definitions, we have written the calculator doc string, things like that, and we describe the parameters, and we can describe the operator as well in calculator. So it depend on scenario to scenario. So we'll pass this, band this to the LLM, right? This is the LLM model. So they will have some prompt as well over here. Prompt over here. So based on the prompt, they're gonna select. They want to use LLM want to use the tools, right? Calculator tools. What they're gonna provide in tool use? There will be tool use. Yes, tool uses will be true, and tool uses will have the function names. Means we'll have the calculator over here. Return the function name. Region the function name. Another would have the parameters. Another will have like parameters over here. So we'll have the, for example, we have the list of tools, right? We have given the details of 10 tools. So LLM will decide which tool going to use. They decide, in our case they decide like calculator tools. Then we have the calculator tools, and what are the parameters need to execute, we all them. So our application owner, right, who is writing the whole application, their jobs to execute the data functions. So how to before executing, we need to put the some validations, right? They are we have get the LLM output as the tool use true or not. So this is the one way of doing. We have to tool use true, then what are the argument, what are the functions we need. So we execute them. When we execute them, then function is going to access your external environment, maybe fetching data from the external APIs, right? That can be done, and data whatever the coming, that's result, right? That result and prompt, both is going to the pass to the again LLM, and again to the LLM, and LLM will generate some response over here, a response over here. This is how, this is a very high level concept, very conceptual things about the tool calls, right? How tool calls is work. Hope this is clear to everyone. So if you see here, right, if you go in production grade, yeah, enterprise grade, this is a very conceptual things, how things work. Yeah, so how can we manage, right? There is tons of tools, right? Tons of tools, maybe hundreds of tools. How gonna manage it? It's a difficult to pass 100 tool data to the model, right? So how gonna manage that? That is the one questions we need to think about that. And already in market you need to research over the internet, so you will find the answers. We have ECP, MCP as a tools developed by Anthropic only, which going to reduce the combinations of connectors. Basically, it is some kind of connector which going to connect to plug in, plug and out to the models as a tools. So so these are the things we have to very clear with that. So next day maybe we'll discuss more about the MCP things, and how can we evaluate the tool uses, right? Tool uses, yeah, to, tool topic related things that we'll discuss in detail about the tool uses. Now, what are the best practices of the tool uses? So, if you see, right, if you want to discuss something like extended thinking, extended thinking means uh, we want a model to think lot. Extended thinking means when model to think, right? For example, we are solving very complex problem. So in that case, we want a model to think stepwise, right? So whatever the thinking model do, right, stepwise, and that these thinkings are encoded, right? These thinkings are going to be encoded and only used by model, only used by model. These thinkings mainly have been encoded by and mainly used by model only. So extended thinking is when we are putting some more complex things to us to analyze. When we ask a advanced model to analyze these things, analyze some scenarios, right? Then they will use extended thinkings and keep it and send you as the context when we are again going through the same question you flow. Then again this thinking need to pass to the LLM. So that is the main use of extended thinking. And extended thinking is this is related to the related to the how the complex problem is, right? So we want a model to solve the very complex problem where we need a extended thinkings. So 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 this is the way we can tune a model, right? This is the way we can tune a model. So tuning of model can be done through this. There is lot of other procedure we'll discuss in the next video. This video is very long, right? So we'll discuss in next video in detail. So so let's see how things goes. So today let's summarize whole things. So we have discussed the prompt engineering. How can we write the good prompts, right? So we need to define the roles, task definitions. We can do the process of thinking, right? Chain of thoughts, some examples. We can put some context, a detail, right? A reference, that kind of thing. This is the basic prompt we can write. How will evaluate the prompt? We already discussed that, and hope this is clear to everyone. So here you just need to keep in mind we have a one model which will generate output, and there will be another model which will evaluate the output of the first model. That is the keep in mind, and we'll get some score based on a just. This is called LLM as just. That is the main thing which we want to keep in mind in high level while working with the agentic system. I'm not saying about the cloud code will work with the cloud code only, but it is more about that. It is more about that it's a whole agentic system work in that way. I have given you two chatbot two machines how communicate with each other, how can evaluate the conversations between the two chatbots, right? I've given a good examples which is just mainly used for the enterprise level of applications. It is so this is one of the things. Another is like how we use the tool uses, right? Suppose we have given a tools, right? This is tool one, right? This is the tool one, like calculator. We have given the details of the tools to the LLM is going to decide which tools we're going to use according to the problems. So in LLM also we can do uh, we can post the LLM to every time use the tools. Yeah, based on situation, LLM can decide. Yeah, check it on decisions. So there is like a tool choice, right? There is option of tool choice. So LLM can be it can be option any yeah, force to one, yeah, mapping we can pass it yeah, we can pass it auto, right? Automatic. The LLM will take, yeah, we want to use tool or not. That kind of decisions we can tune over years. Years, that is very important. I hope this is very important to understand tool topics and how we gonna execute, right? How gonna we execute the tools. So these are the very conceptual things when we designing any applications, agentic applications. Yeah, anyway, kind of automations we need to think on that properly. Think on that, and we need to think in that way only. So you will get we'll discuss more in details when we go into details about the MCP. We'll discuss that. And this is the extended thinking. So how, for example, we have a very complex problem, and there is use analytical thinking is needed, right? On that case we need to use the extended thinking. We need to use the extended thinking. That help the model to retrieve, right? Model to take decision. So whatever the thinking model is thinking, right, we need to save. We need to keep it ourselves and sending every time to the models. Why need to send models? Because model can understand that encoded text, right? So it can answer based on that. So that going to help you a lot uh, to solve the complex problem. So this is the how things work over here. Hope this is clear to everyone. So thank you for joining to me, and hope uh, you like this. You like the whole sessions, right? So you like the whole sessions, and try to share it to the professionals, and let's see how much helpful to the people. I hope this is helpful to lot of people to develop applications, that kind of who is developing the applications. So this is going to be very helpful for them. The people who will learning the LLM thing, just passing out from the college, that kind of people will also very helpful this in whole sessions. So please to like, share, subscribe, and it's a free of cost, no worries. Thank you everyone for joining us.